I feel like this has been a very inconcise review. I'm sorry, but obviously, like, here it is. I'm telling you I love it. End of story. What else do you need to know? Please read it. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew. Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. So this is the first book in an adult fantasy series, and I'm just gonna start with, I loved this. I absolutely loved this book. This was a 4.5. This is like probably my second favorite book I've read all year. So that's, that's a good start. So if you don't know, this is a book that follows Vasya, but really the first third of the book doesn't really follow Vasya. The first third is really about her family, and this is a very folklore fairy tale vibe book, which I heard multiple times before I picked it up, but I've come to realize that I just love that kind of shit. So this weirdly reminds me of the show Once Upon a Time. I feel like if you like that show and you like Russia, then you should definitely check this out, because this is like a fantasy historical fiction. It has a really big theme of like the old kind of leading away and making room for the new to come in. This also, if you have never heard of the book Things Fall Apart by, I don't know who wrote that actually, but I'll put it on the screen, but Things Fall Apart it's a book about a tribe in Africa, and then a preacher comes to Africa and kind of tells them that all their customs and everything that they believe doesn't really matter in a way. He's like, well, what if we just like don't do all the things that you guys believe and see what happens, and see if we like really feel God's wrath in a way. And this had sort of that aspect, but with a twist. And I would say her writing, Katherine Arden's writing, was very lush and evocative, and it reminded me a lot of the reasons why I love books like Strange the Dreamer and The Name of the Wind. Like, those kinds of books just have this writing that I don't know exactly how to describe, but just very like lush and evocative, ethereal, just like so sweeping you off your feet kind of writing. And I literally had the ebook for this, and I was like in a restaurant with like 20 other people, and I just was reading this book for like 40 or 50 pages on my phone, because I just found it so escapist in a way. It just really like swifts you away to this history where you're following, like I said, so in the first third, you're following like all this, like this whole Russian family and these kids, and then Vasya is like born, and then you follow her throughout her life up until I think she's like 14. And throughout the book, there's all of these, just a lot of like creatures, like just creatures in like the woods and stuff, but like nobody else can see them but her. And it's very like pagan versus Christian, and Vasya herself is like one of the only people left that can see these things. And then she has kind of like a wicked stepmother, so like it really evokes that fairy tale vibe from it. And there's a lot of like horse riding, and just I love this. I didn't know I was gonna like this book so much, because I feel like people describe this book as having, it's a very character-driven story, I guess, and I feel like you have to be attached to the character, and I personally was very attached to the character, but also I feel like the forest itself being a character was a thing, and I absolutely loved that. The forest has like this creepy, magical aspect to it, which, magical woods, I mean, just this cover, just, I feel like this is one of those instances where the cover perfectly encapsulates what you're going to read in the story. So, but it's like, and it's a very slow pace. I feel like this is a very slow paced story. I think it took me over 2 weeks to read this book, but I didn't mind at all. I always wanted to read it when I wasn't reading it, which is always a good sign. And even though it's not long, it's only like 300 pages or something like that, I still just constantly wondered like what was going on inside the story, and I wanted to read it. Obviously, I mean, I got it on my phone so that I could read it. And I just did not expect to love this as much as I loved it. But yeah, so they kind of like try to make Vasya out to be this like villainous person, even though I don't want to spoil things. So without spoiling things, I love this book. I loved it so much. Fucking love this cover. But if you've read Strange the Dreamer or The Name of the Wind, then I highly suggest that you also read this. I think that I would see the cross appeal for it for sure. More so Strange the Dreamer, because I feel like Strange the Dreamer is more, like I feel like this book definitely uses like more adult language, and it's definitely like the words, I had to look up some of the words in this book that I don't think you would necessarily have to do in Strange the Dreamer, but like the themes, I love the books equally. I feel like, well, I give Strange the Dreamer 5 stars, so I guess I like that one a little bit more. But this just I love this book, so I don't really know what else to say. I feel like this has been a very inconcise review. I'm sorry, but obviously, like, here it is. I'm telling you I love it. End of story. What else do you need to know? Please read it. And if you have read it, please leave me a comment. Let me know why, and don't let me know anything about the sequels because I haven't read them yet, but I already own the next two because I needed those covers on my shelf, and I love them also. But I will be continuing this very soon. The series very soon because I just need to read more, like Catherine Arden, for sure. At least this trilogy. So I will also leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. It will all be in the description below for you to check out if you would like. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.